Are you a good driver?
Hey, I was supposed to ask you that.
Okay, maybe ask me that.
Are you a good driver?
I am.
Are you a good rider?
Yes.
Awesome. How do you know that?
There are 2 or 3 things in here. Okay, first, I think it is fundamental that everybody believes that they are a good driver, and good being confident, good being comfortable, and good being a lack of incidents, near misses, and things to worry about. If you have a lot of this happening with you, I think we're fundamentally a good driver. To me, most people should think they're a good driver natively because it gives them more confidence, and confident people operate machinery better. So I would just rather not have you think of yourself as a terrible driver unless all the signs are that you are a terrible driver. And those signs are usually pretty obvious.
Very obvious.
So what do you think are the signs of a terrible driver?
I think they're the small, simple things, right? You'll see them coming on as small things, right? Like light bumps and scrapes, or just not being as caring and attentive to others or things around you, right? You'll see it in terms of people's comfort with you if they're traveling with you or around you, like if you're on a motorcycle, your pillion should feel at ease. If you're in a car, the other people in the car should feel at ease. And if you're riding with other people, you'll always know if there are more experienced riders with you, if they're giving you too wide a berth, right? You know that you're not being good enough,
Yeah.
right? And like we were discussing earlier, good for me is a tricky word, right? Because it kind of is a on-off switch. Because I'm good, right? I'm a good rider. I'm a good driver. So the word I told you was that the word that I think about is, do I feel comfortable? And the second I bring that in is because it's situational, right? Because how we are as drivers and riders will change by situation, will change with vehicle, right?
Yeah.
So that comfort angle, is something that we constantly stress on. And I want to bring up again because there'll be a lot of motorcyclists, and this point came up from a lot of motorcyclists saying, how do I actually know I'm a good driver or a good rider, right? Always think a new situation, I don't know anything about it, and I will not be good at it, right? The first time out. So when we are testing bikes specifically, right? So when we are testing like ABS, it's not like you want it to be tested when you are not prepared for it, correct? So we'll go find a situation like typically an empty road where there's a little bit of gravel towards the edges, right? And you'll go run into that gravel at lower speeds and gradually build that up.
Correct.
So that you get a feel for it. So which is why comfort for me is an important factor, that you have to build it up. And we as riders, drivers, our skill is going to keep changing, right? And preferably
hopefully going upwards.
Go up, right? So in everything, situationally, you have to build that comfort level. When you're traveling with a pillion on a motorcycle for long distances, that's something new. It involves 2 people. You have to build that knowledge and comfort of how it works. How Shumi talks about touring on his own, that's because he spent so much time doing it that he has it broken down into a science.
And also you remember that the signs of you're doing well or badly are very obvious. You just have to pay attention to it. Okay, I'll tell you the first time I left Mumbai. I had tested motorcycles outside before, but this is the first time I actually took a motorcycle and said, I'll go somewhere. No agenda, no story, just go.
Do you remember which bike?
I think a Pulsar 180 or something, which was a long-term bike or
And
whatever.
where were you going? Sorry.
I don't remember now. But I remember leaving towards the Pune side. So I was going on that. I had an incident on the first flyover. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. There was a bus coming at me and I avoided that incident. What that incident immediately said to me was, your mindset for touring has not arrived yet. Today. Not like generally, but today. You're not thinking about you're out on the highway and you're going to be here for another 230, 40, 50 kilometers. You're still thinking like a city rider. And the city rider mentality is, I'll pass that car, I'll get there quickly. But it's 300 kilometers. What would you gain or lose by not passing the guy who's annoying you in front of? What would have changed? And therefore, I discovered over time slowly that being more patient on the highway pays back. Being that kind of patient in the city isn't always possible or helpful. There's a fundamental difference to it, right? But that sign was there. I could have said, it's a one-off. Right? That bus was in the wrong place. I was not in the wrong place. The bus was in the wrong place. Then that I would have just not read that sign. But have I made that mistake again? No. So when I leave city, I'm going testing. It's a very clean mindset. I have to go to this place, find that situation that he wants for that kind of testing to happen, then do those things. And when I'm done, then I'm done. I'm not persisting with it. So let's say that I ride a motorcycle, say 800 kilometers for testing. I'm not testing it for all 800 kilometers. I am trying to reach a certain number of conclusions. Then I will validate those conclusions a bunch of times and then I'm done. The rest of the time I'm riding as well as I can. But when I'm going touring and I'm going to be on the bike for 5, 6, 8, 10 hours, my mindset is completely different. I'm not testing anything. I'm not trying anything new. I'm trying the basic set of good skills that I know work for me, avoiding the situations which I know are terrible situations and getting through it. Which means known roads is a good situation to be. I can go a little bit quicker because I know what's going to happen. Unknown roads have to go a heck of a lot slower because I don't know what's going on.
Correct.
Right? So to me, the signs that you're doing badly, I think, are there. And a lot of people just don't pay attention to them because they're externalizing blame and saying, "Ye meri galti nahi hai. Somebody else did something, so I got into that situation." What you contributed to get there is something that is non-obvious. And to me, people who improve constantly and people who consider themselves good will always pay attention to their contribution to their incident. If you watch this video, we're normally supposed to say thank you. What we'd rather do is you hit like, share, and then subscribe. Not just this channel, the main motoring channel also. I mean, why not?